The screen flickers to life with flashes of faces that seem both real and unreal. An English duchess with ghostly white skin, a Japanese geisha painted in devotion, an Indian queen glowing like the sun, an African warrior adorned in red clay and pride. Their eyes stare back through time, untouched by filters, yet sculpted by centuries of beauty, pain, and power. A haunting voice cuts through the silence, whispering, "What if AI could bring back the true faces of beauty from 1850? Every country, every culture, every secret of the past." The music swells as the images shift faster. Lead-painted cheeks, crimson lips made from crushed beetles, gold dust shining under desert light. Then, a chilling pause. These faces were once worshipped, envied, and destroyed by the very idea of perfection. The final image lingers, a flawless porcelain face that begins to crack like old paint as the voice concludes, "The results are more shocking than you think." It is the year 1850, a world divided by borders but united by an obsession with beauty. From royal courts to hidden villages, every culture paints its own version of perfection, using what nature, ritual, or danger can offer. In England, pale faces glow beneath candlelight, while in Japan, white rice powder turns women into living art. Across India, gold dust and coal whisper stories of devotion, and in the deserts of Arabia, eyes lined with soot glimmer like secrets under the sun. But this isn't just about colors and powders. It's about power, class, and the silent struggle to belong. Makeup is not yet an industry. It's a language spoken through faces, a symbol of who has the right to be seen. With every brushstroke, the world paints its fears, its faith, and its fantasies. And as AI now breathes life into these forgotten looks, we begin to see not only how people wanted to appear, but what they desperately wanted to hide. In 1850s Europe, beauty was a performance of purity, and pale skin was its crown. Women powdered their faces with lead and vinegar, chasing a ghostly complexion that whispered wealth and delicacy. Rouge was applied in secret, a silent rebellion against the rules of modesty that condemned vanity but demanded perfection. The ideal woman looked fragile, almost ethereal, her faint blush hinting at health while her lifeless complexion spoke of refinement. Beneath candlelight, the illusion shimmered, smooth, white, untouchable. Yet behind closed doors, the price of that pale glow was sickness, rotting skin, and quiet suffering. Mirrors became both sanctuary and curse, reflecting not beauty but the cost of belonging to a world that worshipped weakness as grace. AI's recreation of those faces reveals the haunting truth. Behind the powdered mask of every Victorian lady was a woman slowly fading under the weight of society's impossible ideal. Across Asia in 1850, beauty was not just painted, it was performed, a ritual of respect and devotion that tied body and spirit together. In Japan, the geisha's face became a living canvas of discipline, her skin coated in white rice powder, lips painted crimson to symbolize grace and desire, her every movement an act of art. In China, women brushed their cheeks with delicate rouge made from flowers, shaped their brows like moonlight, and believed harmony and color reflected harmony and soul. In India, beauty was sacred. Turmeric, sandalwood, and kohl were not cosmetics, but blessings, used to purify the body and honor the divine within. Across temples, tea houses, and palaces, beauty followed rhythm, meaning, and ritual. It was balance, never vanity. AI's recreations reveal faces that seem both distant and intimate, glowing not from artifice but from belief itself. Each shade and line a prayer, each look a story whispered through centuries of reverence and restraint. In 1850s Africa, beauty was not a mask to please others but a declaration of identity, strength, and heritage. Across vast lands from the golden dunes of the Sahara to the lush valleys of the Niger, faces became living canvases painted with earth, ash, and clay. Women mixed red ochre with oil to give their skin a sunlit glow. Warriors marked their bodies with patterns of courage and belonging, and queens wore pigments that spoke of ancestry and pride. Every color had meaning, white for purity, red for life, black for power. And each design told a story passed down through generations. There was no separation between beauty and spirit. The body was art, armor, and language all at once. While colonizers called these rituals primitive, they were in truth the world's earliest couture, crafted by nature, guided by purpose. When AI revives those 1850s faces, we don't just see makeup. We see the pulse of a continent, fierce, sacred, and unapologetically alive. In the Americas of 1850, beauty was born from the earth itself, shaped by forests, rivers, and sacred soil. Long before factories and powders, native women and tribes across the continents painted their faces with berries, ash, and minerals, using each shade to speak of lineage, love, and the land they belonged to. The Aztecs mixed crushed insects to create deep reds, the Incas used gold dust to mirror the sun, and North American tribes painted their faces before ceremonies, not for vanity but for spirit, strength, and story. Every line drawn carried meaning, a prayer for harvest, protection, or remembrance. But as European ideals arrived with colonization, these natural rituals began to fade beneath corsets, powders, and foreign definitions of beauty. Still, in the jungles and mountains, women continued to wear the world on their skin, keeping alive a language older than empires. When AI reimagines those faces, they glow with untamed vibrancy, beauty untouched by mirrors, guided only by nature's hand and the rhythm of the new world's rising. By the mid-1800s, the world was changing faster than ever, and beauty began to cross oceans just as trade, empire, and technology did. The Industrial Revolution brought mirrors, factories, and the first mass-produced cosmetics, while steamships carried European powders to Asian markets and Eastern oils to Western boudoirs. Photography froze faces for the first time, capturing not only expressions but expectations. The world began to crave one look, smooth, fair, symmetrical, a blend of cultures stripped of their roots and sold as perfection. What had once been sacred rituals and local identities slowly became global standards, crafted by commerce and class. Women in Paris, Delhi, and Cairo started reaching for the same products, chasing an image that promised elegance but erased diversity. The AI recreations of this moment reveal the birth of the beauty industry itself, a time when the art of adornment was no longer about culture or spirit, but about belonging to a world that demanded uniform beauty, one face at a time. Beneath the elegance and allure of 1850s beauty lay a truth far darker than any powder could conceal. Behind the soft glow of porcelain faces and crimson lips were poisons disguised as glamour, lead, mercury, and arsenic seeping silently into the skin. Women painted their faces with death, their smiles laced with sickness, their youth fading under the illusion of perfection. Doctors warned, but fashion whispered louder. The same creams that promised purity corroded flesh. The same powders that symbolized status slowly stole breath. Yet the pursuit never stopped, because in a world ruled by appearance, beauty was survival, and pain was just another cost. Those who couldn't afford such refinement watched from shadows, knowing that even poison was a privilege. When AI restores those faces, their glow carries a quiet tragedy, the shimmer of skin that hides decay, the haunting reminder that behind every ideal of beauty, there has always been a toll paid in blood, silence, and sacrifice. Looking at those faces from 1850 and comparing them to our reflections today, it's hard to tell how much has really changed. We no longer dust our skin with lead or stain our lips with poison, but the hunger for perfection still breathes beneath every filter, every product, every mirror. Then beauty was crafted by powder and silence. Now it's shaped by pixels and pressure. Women once risked their lives for whiteness and grace. Today they risk their peace for symmetry and approval. The tools have evolved, the pain has modernized, but the story remains the same. The world still teaches us that beauty must be earned, not felt. Yet when AI shows us those forgotten faces, we begin to see a pattern, a reminder that beauty was never about imitation, but expression. The glow that mattered was never painted on. It lived in defiance, in ritual, in the courage to be seen. Perhaps the truest beauty, then and now, has always belonged to those who refuse to hide behind what the world tells them they should be. As the final images fade, the faces of 1850 linger like ghosts, each one carrying a story, a struggle, a heartbeat that never made it into the history books. They remind us that beauty has always been more than skin deep. It has been power, rebellion, and sometimes a quiet kind of pain. Every powdered cheek, every painted lip, every trace of kohl was a message to the world. I exist, I am seen, I am enough. Centuries later, we still reach for brushes and screens, chasing the same fragile dream of perfection, unaware that the truest kind of beauty cannot be recreated. It can only be remembered. As the music softens and the faces dissolve into light, a whisper remains. Beauty was never about the mirror. It was about the courage to face it. The world may keep changing its standards, but those women, those faces, will always remind us that what we call beautiful has always been a reflection of our humanity, painted in hope, pain, and timeless grace.